Good afternoon and welcome to Global SMT and Packaging Live Show at Productronica in Munich. My name is Viktoria Rawinski. I'm founder and CEO of Rawinski GmbH, and today I invite you to join me for an exciting panel discussion on topic Gone with the Wind, chances and challenges for the electronics industry in an international competition. Innovation and technological progress are only possible with a healthy international competition. And international competition is growing rapidly, especially in the electronics manufacturing sector. Faster, more cost-effective, more innovative. How can we keep pace with international competition in terms of technology without being falling behind? And today I'm discussing with experts from the fields of PCB, materials manufacturing, soldering machine manufacturing, and electronics and manufacturing sector about the chances and challenges they currently see in international competition globally and in their fields. And my guests today are Peter Morler. He has over 25 years of experience in sales. He brings 20 years of expertise in the parts and components business and has been deeply involved in the EMS business for the last 5 years. So his extensive professional experience covers positions from the CEO of an EMS company to strategic business development at CMS Group today. Welcome, Peter.
Many thanks, Victoria.
My next guest is Andreas Folge. He is a recognized expert in electronics business and has been with Nanya for more than 23 years. Wow. He possesses in-depth knowledge of global market structures, segments and key players in the PCB and electronics industry, as well as strong connection to major OEMs. His extensive experience in sales, marketing and international management is complemented by a broad global network. He's currently responsible for the OEM marketing in Europe at Nanya. Welcome, Andreas.
Thank you very much, Victoria.
My next guest is Dr. Andreas Reinhardt. Since completing his doctorate in the field of flexible circuit carriers in 2014, Andreas Reinhardt has been dealing with the challenges in wave and reflow soldering. Wow. As CTO at Zeo Systems, he is responsible for research and development as well as a service department, so that customer feedback can be directly considered to the new technologies and developments. Welcome, Andreas.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for being my guest today, and we have a really challenging topic today. My first question is, what challenges do you see in the electronics manufacturing or equipment engineering in international competition? What requirements must be fulfilled in order to be able to face this competition with a good boost?
Should I start? Well, for our business, of course, the main challenge is to be price competitive and to always have a better technology than others. So we always need to be innovative and be focused on our customers, of course, and develop solutions that in most cases are not only usable by one customer, but for several customers, to be really in the field, not special mechanics and special solutions, but to, as I said, to be in the range of price competitive.
So the modularity plays a major role, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah.
We see three challenges in which are majorly driven by the industry. The first challenge we see is the rapid technical and technological change. This impacts us as a base material manufacturer very heavily. We need to invest in R&D technology in order to cope with these developments. The second is about reliable supply chain and channels, and as well especially the exchange of information within these channels, and especially also the factor that we need to handle the fluctuating prices in raw materials. And the third are environmental regulation and administrational works which needs to be handled. And if you handle this as a company like we do, by vertical integration, an example from the very thin material filament up to the glass fabric, up to pre-preg, CCL, etc., we can cope with this international competition by investing also in R&D investment.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, we got, I think, the same issues, the same, let's say, challenges. On the EMS market, it's very price competitive, and I think only the EMS in Europe can't be very competitive. We need to be a one-stop provider to get technology-wise, development-wise, production-wise, logistics-wise, to get a one solution for the customers. And the most important thing, the challenge is to listen to the customer, and the customer shouldn't stay cheap as sexy. It has to combine his problems with our solutions, and then it could be a good fit.
This is a very good point. Usually you get what you pay for, and if you buy cheaper, even cheaper than cheap, you cannot expect great quality. And I think it's a real huge challenge on in the international competition, especially for a European manufacturer. But I have a special question to Andreas. If you buy raw material, is it some subject of high price deviations? How to deal with this in order to be able to guarantee almost the same quality standard?
We decided strategically to integrate vertically all the raw material manufacturing. So that means we buy silicon sand, we buy recycled copper, and we buy raw oil, and the rest is manufactured on our own. In our separate plants, we have our own resin system plant, glass filament, etc. So we can perfectly handle the ups and downs in the price fluctuations. We can perfectly manage quality by R&D abilities. This is all under one roof. And we can also handle the supply guarantee to our customers that we keep even our own power plant in order to provide electricity for the manufacturing process. So from the strategic approach, we handle the raw material mostly inside, and only major components are purchased as raw materials like silicon sand or raw copper outside. And there we for sure have the fluctuations, but we have long-term partnerships, and the added value process is managed on our own.
I think, only to answer Andreas, I think the point long-term partnerships is a really issue, how we could cope with challenges on the global market altogether. And these long-term partnerships, I think partnerships only last in difficult times. In good times, everybody could work together, but in difficult times, you really mention and see partnerships. And if they're stuck together and build long-term partnerships, then we could handle these challenges on all our markets on our own inside the partnership, with development, with price negotiations, and so on.
I think it's a matter of the robust supply chain for us also and for our customers. And what we learned from Corona crisis was that we need to have good partners, of course, but on the same in the same situation, we cannot completely rely on these partners, because we put a lot of pressure on our suppliers during this time, because you have a huge machine standing there and €100 part is missing and the whole machine is standing and not working. So to really cope with possible troubles in the supply chain and to have at least solutions in your drawer to exchange components and to be more flexible than in the past, I would say.
I think also geographically you need to minimize the risk by having different partners in different geographical areas of the world, because crises can happen wherever, or they are natural, or they are politics, etc. And you need to ensure that your customers receive your products, your materials, and therefore we have, in example, split a different production site, a couple of sites in China, a couple of sites in Taiwan. We have local warehouses in all areas of the world. Also in Europe, we have a long-term distributing partner here with whom we are cooperating very successfully, and I think this is really a must in order to cope with the international competition.
Very good point, especially what Andreas said. We know it from the automotive sector. One part is missing and you cannot build up a car.
You got a high investment on.
Yes, you have to buy it.
And can't sell.
I know you are originally from components part.
But it was not my fault.
But that's great. We have a very interesting discussion, and the point of panel discussion is, of course, discussion.
What we see is also the speed of change dramatically influence our business. If it comes to ultra-thin materials, low decay, low DF materials, we have one driver in the AI sector. You have drivers in the 4.0 industry sector. You have other factors influencing your business, such like special products, automotive industry related, digitalization, etc. And from our point of view, electronic materials and also base materials are one of the backbones of this industry, because without such materials and the related printed circuit boards, you will never mount components on it, you will never finish devices, and you will never run the final products. So this is very, very important, and there's a special situation in Europe with regard to this topic.
I have one question about this. Do you see some kind of, I don't know if the saying is correct, some kind of scissor splitting up between standard material and a broad range of special materials, and how do you cope with this large variety? So how do you tell somebody what to use when standard is not just does not fit?
We first of all figure out in which segment this customer and this requirement comes from. Then we need to analyze which are the technical requirements, or is it electrical driven, is it mechanical driven, etc. And how do we cope with it? We need to follow and really develop new products. We need to modify our raw materials, such like glass. We need to apply low decay glasses, special low decay glasses. We need to modify our resin systems. We need even to modify our copper foil. But thanks to our vertical integration, we have the R&D people being involved, and we are working on this under one roof. And based on these outcomes, we offer a range for different segments. We have majorly 5 segments which we offer. And I do not want to enter in much details on the different segments, but we can provide for each of the requirements products, and we need to develop with our customers. And in the recent months and last 2 years, there's a tremendous increase, especially in the AI-driven sector for base materials as well.
Yeah, I think it's as well. It's a challenge when we discussed about supply chain. Where does our supply chain start? Your supply chain is the raw material. Our supply chain starts with the PCB, with the components, with soldering, and I think this is these partnerships we have to split and make for the risk management several partners which could deliver if we get into problems. And as you mentioned, the administration, even in Europe, is very difficult. So others got with on the energy sector, on the frame parameters inside Europe, the laws, the regulations, where others are much quicker and cheaper and much easier to work. We discussed a lot of things before we start producing and delivering. That makes it much easier, and I think there we must stick together to get things inside the supply chain, but as well on the administrative parts makes it easier. And I think otherwise we always step back a little bit in this challenge, even if you see the Asian market, the US market and the European market, and I think everybody could profit from some partnerships, let's say it like that.
Just some remarks to you. I think it's also a lot in the mind of, maybe it's a German thing, I don't know, in the mind of people to really rule out everything and to ask, can it be possible that the machine does this and that? And it's a huge amount to rule out any possibilities instead of just defining what needs to be done. And it's not even laws, it's just insurances and all that. Everybody wants to have double check, and I think maybe outside Europe that the risky people are more in the same, I would say.
But especially in Germany, we have a point, on the one hand, the point of huge bureaucracy and a lot of rules. Also on the European level, we built a bureaucracy, let's say, monster on the one hand, and inhibits the innovation on the other hand by over-bureaucratization, right?
Yes. Andreas, what's it?
We have a different view on this situation, because as a global player we have a look on the different geographical areas, and we are a little bit surprised to see how it's handled in Europe currently. If you have a look on the printed circuit board industry being still manufacturing here in Europe, it's almost 25% of the total need, so 75% of printed circuit boards are meanwhile imported. And much to our surprise, we learn also that these printed circuit boards have no tariffs, whereas the raw materials being used for local manufacturing have some tariffs on this. So there's a lot of administration and unbalanced situation here in the European market, and this is not in favor for the local manufacturers, apart from bureaucracy, etc. And just coming back to the partnership topic, if you are living in a region where 75% of the products you need are coming from abroad, you need to cooperate with partners, having a clear statement, commitment and a global view on that. Otherwise, if things like Ever Given happen, then the Suez Canal is closed and the whole world is looking at products what they are looking for, what they need. So it's Europe is special from our point of view.
And do you see some improvements on the way?
Do we see improvements? We see that there are activities in all kinds of organizations which draw the picture what might happen if we continue in this way. And I think it is a short-term improvement, not feasible. But on the long-term run, there are now activities which will further support the local industry. Whereas I guess that the industry as it is right now will not be the same in 5 years' time. That's my guessing.
Yeah, we see that as well. A lot of business for the EMS in Europe is coming from outside because they want to produce in Europe to make their data safe, to make it reliable, to see where does our products go to and come from. And this is what I meant with the supply chain. Where do we start? Do we start with the copper? Do we start with the raw material? Or do we start with the PCB? Do we start with the components and the soldering? And so I agree with you. There are some issues. I don't even think that it will be short term. It will be mid or long term, but we need to go now very straight and not, like you said, Andreas, discussing everything. Any possibilities needs to be discussed, needs to be safe, and we need to do something. We need to go a step in front and go for it. And I think it will be the same, yes.
But you definitely would say we need less bureaucracy.
Yeah, definitely.
To be faster and to be more innovative. What I
It
see,
kills speed.
yes, but it also kills the innovations.
Yeah.
Just think about AI.
Yeah. Yes, speed and innovation. I mean, this discussion helps nobody. Not in Europe. Helps everybody else on the world, but not in Europe.
And what technological trends or innovation can be used as an opportunity not to be left behind in the international competition from your point of view?
We see different technology trends which can help. There is a trend towards, in the automotive industry, digitalization, advanced driver assistance systems. We see 5G and 6G for infrastructure manufacturers based still in Europe. The AI business is not that much driven here in Europe, but if it comes to application in Industry 4.0 or Internet of Things, I think that there are some areas where there is a possibility to be successful. I do not strive the topic of aviation and military. This is a different issue, but there are still some segments where Europe can perform well and can succeed by innovation and by speed, because it's all about speed in recent months.
I see that more or less we have standards that already exist for quite a long time, but they get used more and more, like OPC UA as a connection for machines. And I also see the possibilities of AI, for example, to use AI for customization, so that we get rid of the high costs for construction and just fix what is done wrong from AI, but have the whole load of changes for customization done automatically, and then have a very short time to produce everything and to be back on track then.
Yeah, I see as well AI for design, development, for simulation, for boards, complete board simulation, EMV tests, etc. So that you can, like you said, speed is everything, that you can speed up development, because from the idea to a board what you can sell, or a product what you can sell, if the time is too long, you don't have too much time to earn money on the market, because then the next development from somewhere came. So you need to decrease dramatically the development time for the go-to-market model to get a product on the market to earn money for the development, like you did it always. So this is the same thing with the speed and the new technology, what helps to decrease the development time.
And you know what's the best point on the AI is? To calculate the AI, you need PCBs and electronics and also raw materials.
But we see also the trend of environmental friendly products and ecological impacting manufacturing processes. Therefore, we invented a long time ago halogen-free materials. We were certified Panasonic Green Partnership, etc. So we are focusing on ecological friendly products being manufactured in huge volumes with an economical scale and being profitable with these products. And this impacts the whole in-house manufacturing process. It's to save waste, to reduce waste, to save energy, I intended to say, to minimize scrap, etc. This is very important to reduce our CO2 footprint. These are all activities we currently have in our company.
CO2 footprint is a very, very good point, especially if we think about the future.
And I think also as an outlook to the future, I think this is maybe then again an advantage in Europe, that we had already quite a few investments, and when you have photovoltaics, we have one investment and then you earn money.
It pays back
For years, so it should pay back in the future, hopefully.
We have a couple of minutes left, so I would like to ask you the final question. What do you think is necessary in the long term for sustainable economical electronics production? Competitive economical production.
We think, first of all, skilled people, because it's all about skills and knowledge, aligned production processes and raw material use, the correct mindset to do so, and especially working close with the R&D departments together, also at universities, and be open for new products and new processes, because or you're offering ecological friendly product which is manufactured profitable, or you're out of the market. This is our expectation, and therefore we have aligned our processes accordingly and tried also to increase the renewable energy power we are using for manufacturing processes, new production process with lower temperature profiles, an example, etc.
Yeah, I think mindset has a large impact, and I already see it a little bit, especially for new hirings, because we came from a time when the people ask, okay, what can you offer me? So what do you offer so that I work for you? And this already changed. So I think this is important for the future.
Yeah, I think as well, skilled people, like you said, people which want to learn, which want to drive something. Then we came to mindset. Do I get the power, the force that I want to do it? And on the other hand, I think you need to listen to customers what they need and help them to fix their problems or their challenges, let's say it like that. Because we see on the EMS part, from the idea to a logistic solution, everywhere in between, the customer can grab in and say, this we got, this we need. And my opinion, my experience is that not every customer knows what he needs. And this to develop and find customer solutions. And not from the scratch, I grab into the shelf, take something, this is my delivery, get it? I think there we could be much more positive for the future.
Great. Thank you for the very interesting and exciting discussions. Thank you for being my guests here today. I really enjoyed every second of this discussion.
Yes, but we got 30 seconds because you got birthday today. And this is what we want to mention here. So we always to say, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Veronica, happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ja, wenn wir das schon ankündigen, dann muss ich auch so fragen.
Why do something 3 times when you can do it only once? Using N1 Pass technology, BTU's new Profile Tracer is a next-generation thermal profiling tool, providing real-time data acquisition for oven optimization. It identifies inconsistencies due to temperature variables at both the product level and the heat source. Profile Tracer measures dual temperature locations as well as vibration, all in one pass, giving you time to attend the more important things in life.